Hello guys! This is again Drago42 with another SciCraft server tour. Hey guys!
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah, we got a pretty huge crowd today. Mostly our guest today is Logical Geek Boy or Logic. Hey there.
Hello everyone. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, glad to have you here. So in case you don't know him yet, he's been on the YouTubes and the streams for about a year by now. And he's doing a pretty nice series called Road to Hermitcraft, which is, well, maybe a bit ironical or high set target, wishful thinking, whatever you want to call it. But it's definitely a very interesting thing to watch. So yeah, if you're into the combination of building and some technical aspects, definitely check him out. There'll be a link in the video description, of course. And yeah, he's also been doing a bunch of tutorials on mob farms and recently started writing some nice data packs that are quite useful for creative mode, I think. So yeah, check him out. And then even more people. We got Manipende here, who is a new member.
Hello.
And
Hey.
where is Sky? Somewhere up in the sky? No? Sky Rising is hiding?
Right here?
Wait.
I'm invisible
I'm
for you,
blind.
I guess.
Oh, great. Yep.
Oh.
He is invisible.
I
Did
think
you go through a
you're
portal?
invisible for me too.
Awesome. Well, I actually just
Someone
logged in.
needs to fix it.
Okay.
If you
Well, Minecraft and its
Not
bugs.
even online.
Yeah, we'll fix that in a second. So, yeah, today's tour is all about ice. So probably it's gotta be one of our coolest tours to date.
Good.
my God.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of nice ice farms to show you, and the first one we'll show you is actually the old one, just as a short reminder for those who haven't seen it, and yeah, why we needed a new one. So, I suggest we'll meet you guys over there. Alright, we just quickly went over to our old ice farm, and I think now I can actually see Sky Rising back there. Hey there. So yeah, going through another portal fixed it. And yeah, this is our old ice farm. It had a small snow farm included here just to make some snow blocks with the crafting setup. And if we just walk up here, so this was the entrance, but we can better see it from the top. Alright, yeah, so as you can see there's multiple rows here, and what happened was that you would take off your shoes so you don't have Depth Strider, and you would basically be pushed around by these water streams. You would every now and then get the option to pick up a new pickaxe, and, well, you would just hold left click to mine the ice as you walk through, and the wooden stairs here you couldn't mine in time, so you would only mine the ice. By mining all the ice, the water could reform after the pistons retracted. Yeah, there's just a bunch of pressure plates detecting where the player is. And, well, we got quite a decent amount of ice from that. However, well, things happened, or one could say Mojang happened, and they decided to reduce the range for random ticks. So, as you might know, ice forms based on random ticks, or water freezes based on random ticks. And yeah, that range got reduced to a fairly small radius around the player, much smaller than it was before. And so this type of ice farm was not really feasible anymore. So yeah, basically the farm was
Still
too
is.
big.
I mean, Gnemon has a new design, which is just slightly smaller, but this
Yeah, that
farm was
works.
just that little bit too large, and you didn't get any significant amount anymore.
Yeah, so basically, whenever you are at one side of the farm and mining ice there, you wouldn't allow ice to form on the opposite side of the farm, which is quite annoying because then stuff wouldn't be completely frozen, and yeah, the rates are much lower. So-
you shouldn't. Can I just correct? It's not exactly a random tick. It's the ice random tick. It's a little bit special.
Yeah, but I mean the range is the same, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
both were reduced.
So is the ice random tick a totally different random tick to the other type
Yeah.
of random tick? It is.
It
Okay.
works the same, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
just duplication.
Yep.
Alright, so yeah, we definitely needed to get some ice again, because, well, you know, we need it all the time for all kinds of projects, be it to create a large amount of water for our perimeters, or anything else. So we had to come up with a solution, and I think we'll meet you at the first solution. It's actually just...
Isn't there an even older version that is somewhere around here with like a nice housing on top of it?
Yeah, we had 2 ice farms before. So this is the one that broke by the random tick rage is the 3rd ice farm. This is the 4th ice farm here.
Yeah, so, okay, what's happening here is more or less simple. So we have a flying machine on the sides. So that one over there, in that direction. And basically what happens once per day, so there's just a daylight sensor attached, it would fly across and try to push all the ice down. So you can see here there's a nice basement underneath. And we try to do that for 11 times until it stops. Well, like 11 day-night cycles. Which means it takes about 4 hours to reset. Well, 3.5 to 4 hours. And yeah, then we can mine a whole bunch of ice here. But there's one additional trick. So of course, since everything would reform from the water here on the side, yeah, things would start freezing very slowly. So we would either need some way to get a seed in here, because ice can only form if there's a solid block next to it, or non-water block. And yeah, well, obviously there's nothing around it but ice. And in order to get these seed crystals in, so to say, we actually use frosted ice. And for that purpose, we got these flying machines here on the side. And they would get triggered with an armor stand with Frostwalker boots. It would freeze the ice. It would very quickly melt again, but it just manages, or it's just sufficient to introduce a few proper ice blocks that quickly form around the frosted ice. And then from there, the crystallization can continue to form a full layer of ice. Well, it's not always a full layer, but it's very close to it. So you can actually see here that it's a bit heterogeneous at the bottom. That's where some layers were not completely formed. So we don't get 11 ice blocks per column here each time. And yeah, then we would simply walk down, get our Silk Touch pickaxes out, and a whole bunch of shulker boxes to store all the ice. And yeah, that's of course you can't mine the topmost layer, that would be a problem. But everything from this layer downward, we can easily mine. So, I don't know, shall we have a go at it?
Yeah, let's do a time lapse.
Right, all the ice is gone, well, except for the topmost layer, obviously. And, well, we got quite a decent amount from it. But, yeah, you can probably guess that this is not really SciCraft style as our default ice farm. So, yeah, this was actually just a small project since we urgently needed some ice. And I think enemy slapped this down in like one evening. So this was a fairly quick thing. And that means we got yet another ice farm, which is a little bigger. Just a little bit. Alright, we've just arrived at our newest and biggest ice farm. Well, technically on the nether side. And you can already see that there's 2 portals here, which are actually quite important. But yeah, you will see why this is relevant in a bit. So yeah, we've arrived here in our excellent nether perimeter, which has like this 1k by 1k hole in the bedrock. thanks to XCOM,
No.
who always misspells his
No.
name. There should be an EGG in there. Anyways, so yeah, we're at the bottom. Actually, the piston bolt here has a small elevator. Well, small. But I would say let's go right through and see what's on the other side. If we can all somehow fit in and go through. Made it.
Need a bigger portal.
Right. Let's first look here to the back. Yeah, we made a pretty nice storage room, I think. This time from here we can actually read it.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, we took the storage quite a bit out. And of course this is all filled with shulker boxes. Well, not everything yet, but if we take a look here...
No, it's full.
Is it
Is
completely
this
filled by
Superman's
now?
prison? What is it called?
Forest of Solitude? Yes. Fortress of Solitude.
It's so cool. It
Yeah.
looks really cool.
Not quite, but
Wow,
yeah,
very
it's...
We have this
think
buffer in the back.
Manny
for
worked
the
on
rest.
this?
Oh yeah, many really...
Francesco.
Francesco, okay.
Ah.
There's one of the two.
That looks pretty amazing. So you can already see the hoppers here. The shulker boxes are trickling down to the bottommost chest. And yeah, these are all filled, so it starts from over here. So in total we got something like 36 million ice stored up here.
Yeah,
Which
I think
is-
this is like 25, and then in the back in the wall of the perimeter we made like
Yeah.
bigger buffer for the rest.
This is what
So yeah, that's
you
not
can follow
enough.
me here in the back with the rest. Future
Uh,
storage.
let me...
Yeah, just like
Fly
behind
around the structure, yeah, actually looks even better.
Right, I'm gonna go for a fly. Have a look.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
look at this
don't-
thing.
don't-
So back
don't
here
look
we got
towards the
some...
middle.
Yeah, some additional storage. Well, just a little bit.
Another 75 million. So we can store 100 in the end.
Yeah, just quickly slapped into the wall and...
Yeah.
Well,
Should mention this is all in preparation for 1.13 and 14 because Hacked Ice and Blue Ice is crafted.
and yeah, there you can see the whole thing for the storage. It does look pretty neat. Have to watch out so I don't show or spoil the surprise.
We finally
But
take
yeah.
a look at it.
Yep, I suggest we
Okay.
should actually head there and let's just take a quick flight around this
Can we
monstrosity.
please just... The snow, goddamn snow.
Yeah, the snow
can't see
will rip the encoder. That definitely sucks, so maybe you should turn that off. But let's just fly up and take a full look at this thing. So yeah, we use the
But
full random range that is available to us.
Oh,
And
look at
again,
the size of this thing.
very similar concept to the other farm, in the sense that we also have flying machines pushing ice down. But they are quite a bit more fancy. All the glass here avoids some water from freezing. So yeah, we always produce ice fairly quickly. And it looks like a pretty random pattern, but it's actually really nicely made up. And yeah, I should mention this farm was mostly designed by T5, or pretty much in its entirety. So this is definitely a very impressive farm. So you can already see there's a lot of piston action going on, because all the ice that is pushed down by these flying machines is actually transported to a single place, and we should definitely take a look at that. If I manage to find the right entrance, yeah, over here. So you can already see where the ice is going, and there's quite some walls here of ice. That means, yeah, all the ice here is transported to one spot, and if we walk up here, takes a second, we can almost see it. Well, it's actually quite hidden inside, and I'm falling down. Ah, god dang it. So let's just try to get back up here. Yeah, that one place, we can already hear it, is just down here, where we would be standing. And you can already see there's a lot of pigmen coming in, and that's why there's all these nether portals. So we actually have a half-sized nether portal farm here, which gives us zombie pigmen that get aggroed by something Mango will explain in a second. And then we're just standing here in the corner picking up XP. Well, actually you have to take off most of your armor, I think. Which means you, well, automatically repair your mending pickaxe. And you just look straight, hold down left click, and go for the ice once it's activated. Can someone? Ah, yeah. Okay, now it's getting a bit stuttery, I guess, once it's running. And you can barely see what's happening. So maybe I'm just gonna go to spectator mode.
Now ice coming in.
Yeah, we can already see it.
/C to get into spectator mode, everyone.
Yep. Nice features of carpet mod. So yeah, if I can try to fly in here. It's really quite laggy, and actually this farm is really limited by client lag, like how much ice you can mine. Well, normally the theoretical maximum would be 72,000 per hour, and if everything would run completely smooth, this farm would produce about 70,000 per hour. However, on the client, due to lag and how often you actually send your input, it's usually around 55,000, depends a bit on your latency to the server, the ping, and all these kind of things. So yeah, it's still a pretty insanely fast farm, and as you can see here, the ice is basically being pushed in from both sides, where it actually comes from the top and bottom. So basically, yeah, we are just merging multiple ice streams to have this constant flow of ice. And then one player is just standing there and mining it all the time, which in this case is enemy. And maybe we can actually have a scoreboard popped up. Maybe someone can quickly show that, so we can see how quickly this is running. So you can see enemy is clearly in the lead here, and it's just skyrocketing like crazy.
Usually it's actually better.
Yeah, we now have a lot of
many
people on.
on,
Yeah, server's struggling
yeah,
a bit.
Usually it's better.
You can see-
Normally we're averaging at like 30 ms, 35 ms with the ice farm running, something like that.
Yeah, at the moment we are down to 15.
So like half of it.
Yeah, half of it is just players being connected, which slows things down a bit. And of course on the client it's also a bit laggy, but yeah, you don't need to do much while it's running. So yeah, that's a hell lot of stuff coming in, and let's actually check out the flying machines on top, because this is really impressive how everything here gets shifted in. I think it's hard to see whenever some lane specifically triggers, because of course everything is running sort of at push limit, or running into some blocker like Obsidian, and it just tries to constantly push, and whenever one thing is empty, the other branch, so to say, starts pushing in. Can we see the flying machines going off, or are they staggered? No, it looks like they're going. It's just very slow.
I think I'm lagging so hard I can't do anything.
Oh yeah, it's pretty insane.
14 TPS is a bit slower than you.
Oh, like it seems like it's frozen from so many people being around.
Yeah.
So I can see things have seemingly disappeared. Oh no, wait, is that actually on my client? The flying machine somewhere else? T5, you can just do /C in chat. Allows it
/C
for
and
everyone.
/S.
Okay, it's a bit hard to see, but you can see ice is already reforming next to the glass blocks here. And if I can find a flying machine in action, that would be pretty
There's
cool.
one by me.
Next to me.
Oh yeah, here. There's one part flying, and it's actually a fairly big part. Yeah. So the server just has a difficult time updating the client.
Yep, the server, ice farm is freezing the server due to the packets.
Yeah. So yeah, the frontmost piston here is what pushes things down. And then actually on the way back, so we don't kill the water all the time, the whole flying machine is moved up by one block and sent back, so it doesn't push anything down. And yeah, only on one way we actually harvest the ice, because otherwise you could imagine there's two ice blocks being formed with a water block in between. So we would remove the water block by the piston trying to push down, while the ice maybe can't be pushed, and then, well, you would lose that water block, since it couldn't reform. So yeah, that's a pretty laggy thing. but it's a pretty
Oh,
impressive
usually
farm.
it's perfectly fine. I mean,
Yeah,
run it at
with
20
less
FPS
people.
usually.
Yeah, with less people, it's
Yeah.
definitely feasible. We just have too much
30
network
MSPP.
overhead.
Wow. So how long did it take to build up this thing from scratch?
Weeks.
Weeks.
I think it
Oh,
was
yeah.
500,000 block that had to be placed.
Yeah, 480,000 something.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
no.
a month and a half. Maybe.
I think with the ice in, because we have to build some of the ice in, so just preloaded. I think it's like 570,000 blocks.
A lot of
Alright.
the ice was actually put in as water, and then we just had some feeder ice put in, if I remember correctly. But yeah,
I should just point out that there's other farms in this size, but usually they don't have observers, pistons, and other contraptions. That's like they're much simpler, much simpler. So that's why this is so much more complicated than anything that's ever built before.
Yeah, also, if you look at the bottom of the farm, you can see the pattern of the concrete is really not nice to be.
yeah.
In general, you should fly through the machine to see all the technical blocks moving. It's like a mess of observers.
And of course, to
systems.
keep it running at a reasonable rate, all the signaling has to happen via rails and not via regular redstone. So there's of course a little bit of repeaters, but no redstone dust in the main part. Only, I think, a little bit here in the central part. But yeah, if you run it at such a high rate and such a high frequency, you really have to cut down on redstone dust, because that's lag source number one.
Wow.
How much obsidian blocks alone were placed for this farm?
70k, I think.
Something in that range.
Sounds right, yeah.
But most of it, of course, at the bottom for the portals.
Yeah. The
Could
rest
have
is
used
really just a
droppers
blocker.
instead in a lot of cases, but I don't know. Obsidian, we had some leftover obsidian. We also plan to make obsidian farm soon again.
Yeah, we'll need one again.
Definitely need one soon.
Since we did go quite crazy on these portal farms.
Wow.
So you can see these are actually double layer farms, and yeah, but we could only build half a circle. So yeah, maybe Mango, you want to explain the portal farm part?
Yeah, we mentioned why we need it. So the player always uses only a single pickaxe, which is refreshed, or the durability is raised again by the XP that we get from the pigment dying in the back. So with the mending pickaxe, you can run this farm basically infinitely. And that's the whole reason why we have this, zombie pigment farm here in the back. It's completely automatic. You just have to throw snowballs at those 3 alarm pigmen here in the back. And then the pigmen would pathfind towards the player. They fall down a little bit, killed by anti-cramming damage with those minecarts here. And then the XP is so close to the player that it's getting just sucked up. So we get about 40,000 XP with this farm, which is more than enough. The player still needs to take off his armor, because otherwise the mending is distributed over several armor pieces, so that's why we take the armor off, but it's more than enough XP. So we even make some levels. I think enemy was AFKing, as you can see on the right, of quite a while, 25 million ice mined, and I think he has 1,500 levels just from AFKing at the ice farm.
Yeah, I'm at 1,490.5 at the moment.
Now, we're saving the gold as well, correct, right? About how many gold ingots do we get with this?
Okay, yeah, so there is also some item distribution going on here at the bottom. So we sort out the ice, which goes into this water streams, then
Maybe we can turn off the farm,
Shulker box filler.
just to make
The
it a
texture
little less laggy.
Yeah, this would be a good idea. So in order to turn off the farm, it also has a safety off switch. If somebody gets disconnected or something else, then there's a pressure plate. If you step out of that, then it takes a little while, and then the farm auto shuts off.
Well, okay, so you're even smelting down the swords for extra ingots.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Can quickly go through it. So it's quite a mess here with hoppers and redstone. So yeah, all the pigment items are transported over, item elevators and so on. Here we sort out the nuggets and the ingots. And here we also sort out the swords, actually smelt those. So we brought over 2 furnaces, and yeah, we have as fuel. We always use charcoal. Got a few shulker boxes of charcoal over there, smelt everything, and then put it into shulker boxes each. And then here in front we have a little crafting system. So by running the ice farm, we also got here on the right 13 shulker boxes of gold blocks so far. Obviously, it's not as much as you would get with a specialized gold farm, but it's a nice byproduct.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Can I just turn off the ice farms because it's just lagging so
Yeah,
bad?
it's already turning off.
MS50, 17.
Yeah, it's getting much better.
I'm just trying to think of something intelligent to say, but I'm just like in awe. I'm just speechless.
Yeah, I
and
think
all
I
of this
can
was
relate to
designed.
that.
All of this was designed by T5, right?
Yeah.
Besides the pigment farm, the original one.
So how many kind of iterations do you go through? Like when you design something like this, you don't just build this first time, right? You must go through lots of different iterations and fine tuning. Like how long does that?
Yeah, maybe
process take?
T5 can answer that.
Yeah.
If my connection gets better, maybe.
Yeah,
I think he
Stardrive,
just
It's actually quite
smacked
fine.
this thing down at once. He just showed it to Mango one day, right?
Yeah, so pretty much I had this idea since a while to transport all the ice towards the player, but I never found the time, and then told T5 about it. And 4 weeks later, he says, "I have an ice farm for you." And pretty much, I think he's been kind of working on it for a few hours every day straight, and that's what T5 does. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, it couldn't have made it better. It's perfect.
Yeah. No, this was definitely very impressive to see the first time, even in a creative world. I think everyone, whenever they saw it the first time, even our team, they were just standing there in awe and were like, okay, that
I didn't even
is
see it on the creative world. I saw
insane.
it on like the schematic, and yeah, no, it was.
The actual
shocked to
designing
say
took
the
about
least.
5 weeks, so.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh, and Theo managed to
and
join us by now.
he made one painful mistake. He forgot that the client is not 100% reliable, and he had to afterwards add all of the obsidian and rebuild the farm. So
I built it at the start with obsidian.
Okay.
I wanted to make unbreakable.
Yeah, so nothing can go wrong. So all obsidian makes it 100% safe. This farm works perfectly fine. We actually ran it for 10 days straight already. So this also works perfectly. We actually ran into some issues initially with the pigmen, which have been sorted out by using special pigmen with a lower follow range. I mentioned already in the SciCraft video, it's something we found out with this farm, that I need special pigmen for this, with a follow range lower than 35. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to be
yeah.
out of their follow range for them to
Yeah.
alert additional pigmen in a sufficiently regular manner.
Yeah. So by running into all of those issues, I had a nice side effect because we learned so much about pigment farms, and yeah, we also got new pigment farms by now, based on all the issues we had here. Oh yeah, might be wondering, on one side we placed down some slabs. This was a mistake we made. We didn't think about the slime chunks. So we got some slime chunks here. Slimes can spawn in portals, and there's creating some lag if they spawn inside of the portals and immediately go to the nether. That's why we had to place down some slabs here. But yeah, we still get more than enough XP.
By the way, maybe we should mention that we are inside a perimeter.
Oh yeah.
This perimeter is technically not near, it's just because we thought it would be nice to eliminate all other sources of lag that could potentially be there. So
Wow.
made a perimeter for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, also we ran the ice farm and I think even 10 witch farms at the same time. So the ice farm usually doesn't limit us to do other stuff as well, including
I think
farms.
ice plus 12 it did.
Okay.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. GG.
All right. So I
And then
think
we have the storage.
yeah,
We've
before
had
showing
the
that.
storage already.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Maybe we should mention the goal. We want to get 1 million blue ice at some point. 1 million packed ice when it's craftable, and just 10 million ice. So in total, we want to mine 100 million blocks. That's the goal.
So yeah, that's also why we needed the storage extension, which then allows us to keep all of that stuff. Yeah, I guess with that
Was
we've.
this-
So yeah.
I was just thinking, was this what Mojang had in mind when they actually introduced the 9 ice per packed ice, and then blue ice you need another 9?
I don't know.
Well, I don't think they thought someone would go for 1 million blue ice.
But the recipe is a bit expensive, I have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it would have been better to 4 blocks into one higher tier block. Would have been perfectly fine.
Oh well. We can cope with it. Thanks to this nice little monstrosity here. But yeah, I guess.
So it sounds like you're planning on upgrading to 1.14 at some point.
Not very soon.
No.
So it's.
I mean, we don't give up hope, but yeah. We would have built an insane ice farm anyway. So now at least we have a goal.
We were running low on ice anyway, so it's a good excuse to build it.
Oh yeah.
We did run out of actually ice at some point. So we had to go and pick up some ice. I remember me and Mango and someone else helped as well.
So should we go to the storage?
We've already been there. We already checked it.
Okay.
Alright, so I guess with that, let's wrap it up. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed this very nice server tour. Yeah, thanks to Logical Geek Boy for joining us. As I mentioned in the beginning, be sure to check him out. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Have nice holidays. Have a good new year. And see you next time. Bye bye.
Thanks everyone.
Bye
Thanks
bye.
for inviting
Bye
me.
bye.
Thanks
See
a lot.
you.
Merry
Bye.
Christmas!